The martyr's mirror. When your kindness becomes a cage. Meet Elena. To her co-workers, she is the saint. To her family, she is the rock. Elena is the person who stays until 8 p.m. to finish a project that wasn't hers, who smiles through a 3-hour venting session from a friend while her own dinner grows cold, and who says yes before the question is even fully asked. But if you look closely, if you catch her in the reflection of her computer screen after the office lights go dim, you'll see it. The exhaustion in her eyes isn't just lack of sleep, it's something heavier. Somewhere behind that persistent smile is a shadow. What if I told you that Elena's kindness isn't actually a virtue? What if, for people like Elena, kindness has become a sophisticated form of self-destruction? The origin of the good girl. Elena didn't wake up one day and decide to be a martyr. It started when she was 6. She learned early that being agreeable was the currency for love. When she put her needs aside to stop her parents from arguing, she was rewarded with praise. Over time, this didn't just become a habit, it buried itself in her nervous system. Kindness became her survival mechanism. Now, as an adult, she can't separate who she actually is from what everyone else expects her to be. She is the reliable one who never complains. The silent truth. Behind every act of Elena's self-sacrifice is a quiet, fermenting resentment. A voice in her head whispers, "What about me?" But she silences it, because the unspoken rule of chronic kindness is that you are never allowed to put yourself first. The anatomy of the shadow. Psychologists have a name for what Elena is feeling: compassion fatigue. She has given so much of her empathy and care that she has run completely dry. Studies show that people like Elena, who consistently prioritize others over themselves, suffer from higher levels of anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Her kindness has become a self-eraser. It's like watering every plant in the neighborhood while her own roots turn to dust. But there is a darker, more unsettling paradox at play. The invisibility trap. Because Elena always adjusts, people stop asking what she wants. The training effect. Her kindness has taught the world that her feelings are negotiable. The politeness prison. She has become invisible, and invisibility isn't peace. It's just loneliness dressed up in a cardigan and a soft voice. The scientific cost of admission. Elena thinks she's being altruistic, but the University of Berkeley suggests otherwise. Altruism only increases well-being when it is voluntary and authentic. When Elena performs kindness out of guilt, obligation, or the fear of disappointing others, it actually spikes her stress and lowers her happiness. In fact, research in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that agreeable people like Elena who struggle to say no are significantly more likely to hit total burnout. The monster within. When Elena suppresses her needs and denies her frustration, those emotions don't vanish, they ferment in the shadows. Eventually, they leak out as passive-aggressive comments or sudden explosive snaps at the people she loves over tiny things. Her kindness without honesty has created a breeding ground for a monster. The oxygen mask realization. One Tuesday, Elena finally collapses, not physically, but emotionally. She realizes that every time she said yes when she meant no, she wasn't being kind, she was abandoning herself. She learns the most uncomfortable truth of all. If your kindness doesn't include yourself, it isn't truly kindness, it's a performance. Think of the airplane safety briefing. You must put on your own oxygen mask first. If you pass out from a lack of oxygen, you are useless to everyone else. Elena's ability to care for others was suffocating because she refused to breathe for herself. The strategy for liberation. Elena begins the hard work of shifting from enslaved kindness to liberated kindness. It's not a quick fix, but a series of radical practices. The power of the pause. When a coworker asks for another favor, Elena doesn't auto-reply with a yes. She breathes. She checks if she actually has the capacity. The gentle no. She learns that no doesn't have to be a weapon, it can be a boundary. I'd love to help, but I don't have the capacity right now. Reframing worth. She realizes her value isn't determined by how much she gives away. She was worthy of love before she ever learned to perform it for. Listening to the bad emotions. Instead of fearing her anger, she treats it as a signal that her boundaries are being crossed. The lesson. The mirror versus the mask. Elena still has her kind heart, but she's traded the mask for a mirror. She realizes that pathological altruism, sacrificing her health to rescue others, was actually preventing people from learning their own independence. True goodness isn't about erasing yourself. It's about showing up as your full, authentic self and still choosing compassion. When Elena's kindness comes from choice rather than compulsion, her relationships actually become deeper and more grounded in respect. The world doesn't need more yes men or silent martyrs. It needs people like Elena who have the courage to love without losing themselves. The final question. Next time someone calls you so kind, look in the mirror. Is that kindness coming from abundance, or is it a mask covering a face that is slowly fading away?